Hello and welcome to the Uni Wrap. I'm Phoebe.
And I'm Simon.
We would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people as the traditional owners and custodians of this land. We would also like to acknowledge their elders past and present.
And welcome to our first show of the Uni Wrap, a show run by the students for the students at Latrobe University. Phoebe and I will be your hosts for today.
We will be sharing a variety of stories, including news, deep dives, sports, and also some fun stories for you all to enjoy by our talented TV crew.
You can find out more about our crew along the way as well. If you'd like to know more, you can follow us at @theuniwrap_LTU on Instagram for more creative content.
We were hoping to do this live from the studio, but unfortunately we've been put into yet another lockdown. But luckily for you guys, you can all find out what we've been up to this lockdown later on in the show.
We'll cross now to our newsreader Drish for an update.
Thank you, Phoebe and Simon. Chaos in Kabul as the Taliban upped the ante and declared that the US must be gone from Afghanistan by August 31st or they will pay a price. Nikki Thiakari has this rapidly developing story.
After 20 years of occupation, the United States and Allied forces have pulled out of Afghanistan. Chaos has erupted as the Taliban regain control over the country. Terrifying videos showing hundreds and thousands of people trying to flee the Taliban, some clinging onto departing planes and falling to their death off the aircrafts mid-air in Kabul. On board this US Air Force transport plane is 640 people. The cargo jet is capable of carrying over 77,000 kilos of cargo, but is only designed for 134 soldiers. Families fleeing with nothing but their clothes on their backs and their children, not knowing where they're going nor what will happen to them next. Over 1,500 people, including Australians, Afghan nationals and other foreign citizens, have been evacuated by Australia and New Zealand within the past week.
A spokesperson for the Taliban told international media that August 31 is a red line for withdrawal that should not be crossed.
The White House has responded that US President Joe Biden will decide what date American forces will withdraw. The Taliban now control a majority of Afghanistan, taking control of most of the districts around the outskirts of the capital. We will continue to monitor the troubling situation as we will have more news to come, no doubt. Nikki Thiakari reporting for the Uni Wrap.
Last Friday, Latrobe University held a seminar discussing the China-Australia relationship with two former Prime Ministers, Kevin Rudd and Malcolm Turnbull. They maintained that our nation's rift with China has reached its most critical moment. Here's Patrick Moreau with the story.
China has been in the news recently, that the tension with Australia but with the Western world, and this includes the USA, Europe and our neighbours in the South Pacific. As Latrobe China expert James Leopold points out, the seminar, which hosted the two former Prime Ministers Kevin Rudd and Malcolm Turnbull at Latrobe University, have different opinions on the Chinese issue. This is what James had to say about the two former Prime Ministers.
Both of them probably think they know quite a bit about China and about how to manage the bilateral relationship. Certainly Kevin Rudd, a fluent Mandarin speaker, who previously served in Beijing in our embassy, certainly has a wealth of knowledge as it relates to China. Turnbull, through his kind of business experience, had a lot of dealings as well before he entered Parliament.
As James pointed out, the two former leaders have different opinions on China and want to know a different idea to help the nations recuperate. In terms of this is what both former Prime Ministers had to say about China.
You know, the so-called wolf warrior diplomacy. The 14 demands, truly one of the nuttiest things I've ever seen. It just shows you how out of touch with the Australian reality.
And it's good to be on this platform with former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull. Dealing with the Australia-China relationship does not infer a monopoly of wisdom on either side of politics. It's inherently complex and requires, I think, the combined wisdom of the nation.
With the two former Prime Ministers taking on this issue as well, this is an issue that has burdened the Morrison government in every step, as the Morrison government has been impacted by Chinese aggression, such as the lobster tariffs, the wine tariffs, and the barley tariffs. This will cause an uproar in anti-China dissent, which we have already seen. As we know, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has caused the World Health Organization to put in an investigation. This has caused a huge impact on Australia and China relations. With two former Prime Ministers putting their little 2 cents into the issue, this will cause more issues for the Scott Morrison government, as they'll now need to work out how to combat China, but also to use Kevin Rudd's and Malcolm Turnbull's opinion as well. This has been Patrick Morrow for the Uni Wrap.
Now to the local news. Victorians aged 16 to 39 are now eligible for their Pfizer jabs. The additional doses have been added to the system's booking website as from this morning, targeting 2 million Victorians. Premier Daniel Andrews said additional supplies of the Pfizer vaccine were secured from Poland. This will expand the vaccination program and open up eligibility for essentially all Victorians. Sad news yesterday in New South Wales. A woman in her 30s died after being tested positive to COVID-19. Emergency services were called to the scene in Sydney's west after the woman was found unresponsive. They performed CPR, but she was declared dead at the scene. The health authorities referred her death to the coronavirus and reported it to be the 75th related death of the Bondi outbreak. 4 people have been arrested after 2 young children were allegedly abducted from their Blackburn North home on Monday morning. 5-year-old Adila Wali and her 3-year-old brother Bilal were found Monday night in their family's car that was allegedly stolen during the home invasion. On Tuesday morning, Victoria Police Commander Mick Frewen said there were lots of unanswered questions in this investigation. Interviews with the suspect are continuing and no charges have been laid yet. Further interviews will also take place with the children and their parents. Now to the international news. New Zealand recorded 41 new positive cases on Tuesday, bringing the total number in its outbreak to 148. More than 400 exposure sites have been identified with the number of close contacts involving more than 15,000 people. The country has maintained a level 4 lockdown until the end of the week as they battle the outbreak of the Delta variant. In the US, Pfizer given the green light by the Food and Drug Administration for people aged 16 and over. The vaccine will be marketed as Comirnaty, the FDA said in its announcement on Monday. Out of more than 170 million people in the US have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and more than 98 million have received the Pfizer vaccine. In Singapore, US Vice President Kamala Harris accused Beijing of continuing to coerce and intimidate in the South China Sea and pledged that Washington would pursue a free and open Indo-Pacific. After her speech, she discussed with business leaders on supply chain issues. Today, she will be in Vietnam, where she will meet with top officials. Now to the weather. Cloudy in Melbourne throughout the day, with showers on the western suburbs will reach a maximum of 14 after an overnight low of 8 degrees. Get some extra blankets, as in Mandurah we might sneak 3 degrees lower to 5 at night. That's all for the news. Now we cross to Patrick Morrow, who's working overtime today to bring us the latest in sport.
Hello, this is the Sports Wrap with Patrick Morrow. Let's go around the grounds with your sporting news. In the AFL, Alistair Clarkson and Sherwood Burgoyne said goodbye to the AFL in weird circumstances on Saturday at the MCG with a draw against Richmond. The final score was 83-all. While at Dockland Stadium, it was also farewell for small forward superstar Eddie Betts for Carlton. But unfortunately, Carlton were not able to get the win as GWS won by 14 points. And Melbourne are minor premiers, with Max Gawn kicking the winning goal down at Geelong to hand the Demons their first minor premiership in 57 years. To the English Premier League, and this is a stunning strike by Aston Villa striker Danny Ings, is going down as the goal of the season, a stunning bicycle kick to hand Aston Villa a victory in the English Premier League. And finally, in some local sporting news for all you local footy fans out there, the Melbourne Metro Grand Final dates have been set by AFL Victoria, with September 18th being the best available date for the Grand Final, barring COVID-19 restrictions. So let's hope out there for local footy fans that we get some footy action. And that is all for your Sports Wrap.
Thanks, Trish. Advocates are concerned for the mental and physical health of refugees, with many going on hunger strikes and protesting during their mistreatment in detention.
There might be some confronting stuff in there, guys, so just wanted to give you all a heads up. Savannah Pocock, our social justice reporter, has more.
A Medivac refugee on a hunger strike is now in critical condition in a Melbourne hospital after 35 days without food. The man, who cannot be identified, is part of a group of refugees being detained in Melbourne. They have been on a hunger strike since the 17th of June, demanding their release from detention. According to the Doctors for Refugees Facebook group, the man is too weak to speak and can only communicate via text. These are his words read by a voice actor.
I came to Australia in 2019 for treatment for mental and physical problems, but got no treatment. The opposite happens. In the detention centre, my problems get worse. I've been in detention for 8 years and I suffer every day for no reason.
An advocate from the Facebook group, Margaret Sinclair, says that while some detainees were released months ago, others wait without answers.
The people who've gone on to these hunger strikes are people who arrived under the Medivac laws, or most of them, and they've all got friends who were released in December or January, particularly January of this year, and for some unknown reason they've just been left behind in detention.
Sinclair says that Australian detention centres are unsafe environments.
The number of people going into detention appears to be more than the number of people coming out. So they're places of fear. They're places where human rights abuses take place.
Sinclair says that Australia detaining asylum seekers and refugees for almost a decade, just because they arrived by boat, is discriminatory and unfair.
Regardless of how someone has arrived, the claim just needs to be processed on the basis of what they've escaped from, not about their mode of transportation at all.
She says the Australian government's mistreatment of refugees needs to come to an end, and that they need to start taking their suicide attempts and self-harm more seriously.
Instead of just brushing them off and calling them emotional manipulation or something like that. There's nothing manipulative going on here except from the government itself. I think that the harm that has been done to these people might never be reversed, because the way people experience ongoing, prolonged, indefinite detention is an experience of punishment and of brutal, intentional cruelty.
Margaret Sinclair urges people to speak out and to look for ways to bring about change.
If we don't stick up for the human rights of one group of people, we haven't really stood up for the human rights of anyone.
Savannah Pocock, reporting for Latrobe Live.
Thanks, Savannah, for bringing awareness to the issue.
The latest lockdowns in Victoria have greatly impacted small businesses and affected local governments financially. Small businesses have had to close their doors while others have had to struggle to survive. Panara Baker has more.
COVID-19 has greatly impacted our lives since March 2020, and this was the beginning of now what we know as a lockdown. From panic buying toilet paper to grocery store shelves being stripped bare, it sent many people into panic with the future unknown. Many people wondered when they'd see their friends or family again, and some of the toughest times came down to our small business owners. With an uncertain time ahead, with uncertainty looming everywhere, many owners are unsure when they'll be open to the public again. I sat down and had a chat with Leslie Skevington, who runs 4Bean Cafe in Northcote, about the last year's been running a business and the impact these snap lockdowns have had.
The manager of 4Beans Cafe at 22 High Street, Northcote. The business is well established. We've been here for 35 years, but in our current format for the last 4 years. What is it now, a year and a half? It's obviously been a really difficult time, but the government has given us quite a bit of support. That's both from the Victorian government and the federal government. In addition, the local Darabin Council have been really good. They've fully refunded our outdoor furniture permits last year. They refunded our food licensing fees, and they've given us those free for another year. The food loss is greater. There's obviously a huge downturn in the customers walking through the door. So really, probably the impact on the last two's been pretty bad. I mean, last year was bad enough. These ones are worse. People have stopped running at 100 miles an hour. They don't have the ability to travel. They don't have the ability to go far from home. So it's given us an opportunity to really get to know our customers, to know their likes, to know them by name, to have a chat about them and their families, and in turn, the support that we're getting from them and their little furry friends, because we have a lot of customers with dogs and things, has been absolutely outstanding.
JobKeeper was leased at the beginning of the pandemic to help business owners keep their staff employed. However, this ended in March of this year, and little did many Victorians know that they would plunge into a third, fourth, fifth, even sixth lockdown. Melbourne City released a report on the economic impact of COVID-19, and there was a loss of 75,000 jobs, or 15% decrease with Melbourne City in 2020. For the rest of Victoria, it was an estimated 25,000 job losses, but it was only at 9% of the total numbers of jobs within the area. The greatest impact fell on the accommodation and food services, with the drop in economic output of $1.9 billion. And Small Business Australia has predicted that just the first week of lockdown 4 would cost the economy $1 billion. I spoke to Kat Theophanous about her role as Labor member for Northcote and what she's been doing to help small businesses within the area.
Virtually the most difficult period that they've faced in decades. Small businesses are the backbone of our community and our local economy here in Northcote. And at a really fundamental level, they create and support thousands of local jobs. And some of the things that we're doing to support them, I guess we've provided more than $7 billion in direct economic support for businesses over the course of the pandemic. And that includes $1.4 billion in cash grants paid. Their pain and hardship is real, and it's important, and it's normal to feel stressed, and it's okay to reach out for support. For individual businesses, it could mean exploring options to pivot part of their business to online, or building some business flexibility through our digital adaptation programs, or it could be reaching out to the Business Recovery and Resilience program, which was created to help businesses to navigate some of the economic challenges of the pandemic. From a government perspective, I think clarity around the support and income that's going to be there, and the longevity of that, while there are still lockdowns needed to keep our community safe, there's always going to be business support there alongside it to keep our businesses afloat.
Next time you're out on your daily walk, look around and see what businesses there are, and you might just find your new favourite coffee joint. Just remember to mask up, stay safe, and support local.
Thanks, Panara. Northcote certainly looks like a great place with lots of good food.
Yes, it sure is. I've been there many times before. It's great to just walk along the streets of Northcote, grab a bite to eat, check out all the different cuisines. There's lots of yummy food there.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I haven't been there myself yet. I'll have to broaden my horizons and explore a little bit further outside of Bundoora when I can.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I guess we'll both be in the Northcote streets as soon as lockdown's over.
With the Paralympics just getting underway, we were lucky enough to chat with some of the Paralympians from the Latrobe's elite sports program as they look to head for glory at Tokyo 2021. Here's Josh Ward with more.
Well, the 2020 Tokyo Olympics may be over, but the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics have just begun. Simon Rathbone and I recently spoke with Paralympians and Latrobe students Emily Beecroft and Bree Melberg. Welcome to the Uni Wrap.
Thank you, Josh. Much appreciated. Good to be here.
Beecroft and Melberg have been preparing for a couple of months now, but Beecroft has managed to keep in touch with her close family.
I am super close with my family. I pretty much call them every day. So, they like to keep me grounded, and I miss them heaps. But I'm really excited for them to see me on TV again, which will be really exciting.
Melberg, on the other hand, who's currently studying a PhD at Latrobe, has been able to focus on the Paralympics Olympics rather than her study.
I've actually taken a leave of absence for the last couple of weeks just to try and help with balancing my load with training and my stress levels.
While she was at Rio in 2016, Beecroft is excited about heading to Tokyo and seeing what life in the village is like again.
Yeah, Tokyo has always been my number one goal throughout my swimming career. So yeah, I'm really excited that it's coming up.
Melberg also said that the gliders and herself are extremely excited to head to Tokyo, having waited a long time between international games.
So the last time we played an international game was Olympic qualifiers in December of 2019.
Wow.
So it's been a really long time since we've played an international tournament. So there's a lot of us that are itching to get on court.
There's sadly no 50-metre freestyle this Paralympics, with Beecroft just seconds off bronze last time around in Rio. But she's excited to see how she goes in the relays as well as her other individual events.
I'm still really excited to compete in our relays. Our relays have a really good medal chance, so that's really exciting. And yeah, just to see how I go in my individual races as well.
Melberg also believes that despite going in as underdogs, the gliders do have the team to go all the way.
And I think that if we're able to stay really together as a team and put in the best minutes that we can, I think we have a real shot at it.
Beecroft has been excited watching the Olympic Dolphin teams perform superbly, hoping that they continue that form this coming Paralympics.
To have the most successful Australian Dolphin swim team ever over in Tokyo has been really invigorating and really exciting to see. I've loved watching it back from home, and we're of course a part of that team as well, so I can't wait to get over there and see what the Paralympic team can bring as well.
Melberg also mentioned to keep a close eye on 2012 Paralympian Amber Merritt.
She's an incredibly experienced athlete, so I'd highly recommend to look out for her.
And there are plenty of athletes to keep an eye on this Paralympics, with the opening ceremony kicking off the games yesterday evening. This is Josh Ward reporting for the Uni Wrap.
An exciting time for our Latrobe Paralympians.
Yeah, and you can catch Bree in action for the gliders and the wheelchair basketball, and Emily's first meet will be in the pool on Tuesday the 31st. We'll certainly be cheering them on from home.
Now let's get to know our Uni Wrap crew. This week we've prepared a special video for you all, where you guys will get to find out what we've been doing this lockdown. Hopefully we'll keep you guys sane and entertained.
Hope you guys enjoy.
Anywhere I can, I want to share my world, don't you understand? Love is a one in a million. It goes on and on and on.
I've got my hands full over here. I've got 2 bunnies and 6 chickens. We feed them every day and play with them every day. And our chickens have just started laying eggs, which is really, really exciting.
Look at all those chickens.
Hey guys, so a couple of things are keeping me sane during lockdown, but one thing that has been keeping me sane is watching old sitcoms. One of the sitcoms I've been watching is Everybody Loves Raymond. That is playing in the background right now. Here's a sneak peek at it.
Now it's a happy marriage.
Hey guys, I'm Pinar, and my lockdown has just been riding my bike, hanging out in my woody, chilling with my 10th-month-old pup Betty, and drinking a lot of coffee. See ya.
I just made a fresh pot of coffee. Does anybody want coffee?
Righto, so I've been trying some trick shots. Let's see how the old chip into the cup goes. Oh. This is hard.
Oh, look at money.
No. Well, I'm beaten. That has defeated me well and truly. So see if you can one-up me. Send it to me.
Nice and easy. That was not nice and easy.
To help stay sane during this lockdown, I've been reading and I've been doing crosswords. I've also been baking as well.
First of all, that is delicious.
Awesome. Hi guys, during lockdown I've been coping by spending some time outside in my garden. I've also been eating a lot of food, including one of my favourite fruits, which is grapefruit. And I've also been trying to complete all the shrine quests on Legend of Zelda.
Hey guys, my name's Taylor and I am part of Latrobe Live this semester, and we've been asked to show you things that we've been doing during lockdown to keep us entertained. So I thought that I'd show you what I've been doing. Here we go. I'll sit.
I'll throw myself out.
Hey guys, obviously with all the gyms closed at the moment, just trying to get out and about for as many walks and runs as I can, obviously within my 5-kilometre radius, just to stay fit and healthy and keep my mind off things during lockdown.
Nice.
This is how I cope during lockdown.
Yes, I'm coming.
And sometimes you've just got to have that cheeky snack.
Mom! Yeah, I'm just doing the laundry.
Mom! And this video game is off the charts.
Here, let's check somewhere else. Okay.
Mommy! 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 Mama!
Hi guys, here's a little bit of what I've been doing during this lockdown. When it's sunny, I go by the lake and read, sometimes not, just to relax really. I also practice yoga pretty much every day. I stretch a lot and practice some poses. It gives me a break from sitting on my chair for hours in front of the screen. Finally, I started learning guitar by watching YouTube videos. Here I'm just using the finger picking method.
Domestic bliss.
What have I been doing during lockdown? Well, apart from, watching my beloved Richmond behind me there, and also not doing a lot else apart from playing the PlayStation, I've also been making my own podcast with this amazing mic, Check 1 2 2 2. So it's been good fun. We've spoken to a few people around the world. That includes Tom Morris, Rakeem Cornwell, Nerily Meadows, and a few more big guests coming down the track. So make sure to check that out on Spotify and Simplecast. But that's what I've been doing during lockdown. As you can see, there's not much else to do. So a bit of an interview, get the one-on-one exclusives with the big people around the world. That's what's been happening with me, and that's all.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Hi everyone, it's Jess here. I'm going to be showing you what I've been doing to stop myself from going completely cuckoo banana pants while I'm in lockdown. Adventure time! Come on and grab your friends. We're going to very distant lands. We take the dog and spin the Uber. The fun will never end. It's adventure time! Oh hi, I'm Diana. I'm merely a simple businesswoman. Oh look, over there! My first city is in danger! Wonder Woman! Oh, Wonder Woman! Oh, Wonder Woman! Meow. Let it go! Let it go! I'm really bored 'cause I'm stuck at home. You're fired. Huh?
I've never heard anything like that before.
That was great. I love Jess's part so much. Super funny, super hilarious. I love that she got her son involved. Definitely very entertaining.
Yeah, it was great to see what everyone gets up to in their own spare time during lockdown. Some People are hanging out with farm animals, and Josh is watching some sitcoms, so it's great to see everyone spends their time differently in a lockdown.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely been watching a lot of TV like Josh. I've been out in my garden too, like everyone else. I loved seeing Panara's garden. Looks like a perfect place for a nice pool party. Definitely can't wait to, get out and about once lockdown's over.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very entertaining all around.
What a great bunch of stories for our first show, don't you reckon?
Yeah, it was great. It was great to see, obviously, some of the more serious matters going on overseas, but then also to touch base with some of the more local stories around our local area as well.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to get watching the Paralympics. It'll be very exciting to see Australia competing in the Olympics again. Hopefully we do just as well as we did in the other Olympics.
Yeah, I'm certainly keen to sit back and watch some of our best Paralympians going out over the next couple of weeks. Next time on the Uni Wrap, we've still got plenty of more stories coming.
We'll be diving into internet trolls, Australian vaccination versus global vaccination, rugby league in Victoria, and we'll also be telling you all you need to know about blockchain.
For more information, check out our Instagram or the Upstart website.
That's the wrap for the Uni Wrap. See you next time.